Head of Xbox Phil Spencer has given another interview that probably has the best answer when it comes to the future exclusivity of Bethesda games. Will something like Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5 come to the PlayStation 5? There's a lot here to discuss, so let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? It's Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. Hope everyone's enjoying their weekend. If you guys could do me a huge favor, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and please share this video out on social media. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the continued support. It certainly seems like the great debate of our time is if Microsoft is going to put the Bethesda exclusives that they acquired with their $7.5 billion acquisition of ZeniMax on the PlayStation to recoup some costs. Or rather, would they actually keep those games exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem to drive growth in Game Pass and xCloud, the two most important things to the Xbox platform moving forward? Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've certainly seen some hot takes all around this week, those from fanboys, but the ones that really concern me are from people that I kind of looked up to, the ones that I thought were smart, the video game journalists covering this industry. When this news broke, there was basically a divide. Either you thought that Microsoft would keep those games to grow their own ecosystem, or that they would put those games on PlayStation because they needed to make their money back. And to the ones constantly saying that Microsoft needs Sony, that Microsoft needs the PlayStation user base to get that 70% of a sale from Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5 to recoup some of that $7.5 billion investment, I don't think you truly understand what Microsoft's goal is with Xbox and this acquisition. This acquisition served two huge purposes. The first being Microsoft shoring up their first-party stable, adding huge AAA developers that make incredible games so they can constantly put out content for number two, Xbox Game Pass and the ecosystem overall. By buying Bethesda and getting those studios, Microsoft is essentially funneling customers into the Xbox ecosystem to either pay full price on the Xbox Series X or S, buy it on PC, but most importantly, get those people into Xbox Game Pass by offering those games day one at a low price, $10 to $15, and having those games available via streaming by Project xCloud, beaming those games into territories where Xbox console hardware sales haven't been great, like South Korea and India and some of the European countries. That is the long-term play Microsoft is playing here. They don't care about short-term money. The idea that Microsoft is going to put Elder Scrolls 5 or the next Doom on PlayStation 5 because they need Sony's install base to make some money back on their investment is laughable at best. Microsoft didn't spend $7.5 billion to let Sony just rake in 30% of all future sales of Bethesda games on their platform. Microsoft spent that money for their long-term play in growing Game Pass and xCloud. 100% end of story. But let's take a listen at Phil's quote here, and then we'll come back and discuss it because I have a lot more to say about this.
Microsoft has been sucking up studios, producing its own first-party games. Two questions. One, what does this mean for Microsoft in the future as far as becoming an even heavier hitter when it comes to first-party studios? And two, and this is probably the question that a lot of people are wondering, what does it mean for first-party exclusives for something like an Elder Scrolls? Will we only see that on Microsoft systems, or will it go across other systems similar to what Microsoft has done with Minecraft?
Yeah, really excited about the announcement this week that we intend to acquire ZeniMax, an amazing studios there. Takes our overall first-party studio organization to 23 creative studios. Just a real big investment in content. And really, for us, Xbox Game Pass is the flywheel that we're feeding there. We have over 15 million subscribers now for Game Pass, and it continues to grow across console, PC, and now with streaming to phones. And we want to make sure that subscribers to Game Pass feel like they have a consistent set of games to go play. In terms of where games will show up, our commitment is that our games will show up in Game Pass and on PC and on console and be available in xCloud. In terms of other platforms, I think we'll take it on a case-by-case basis. But as the Xbox community, what they should feel is this is a huge investment in the experiences that they're going to have in the Xbox ecosystem. And we want the Xbox ecosystem to be absolutely the best place to play. And we think game availability is absolutely part of that.
Look, I know there's a lot of PR in that answer, and I'll explain what's going on here, but that last quote basically says it all. Phil says that we want the Xbox ecosystem to be absolutely the best place to play, and we think game availability is absolutely part of that. Now, for something to be the best place to play, there has to be a counter, a worse place to play. And in this scenario with the Bethesda games, it's going to be PlayStation, because they're not going to get the future Bethesda games on that platform, so Xbox will be the best place to play those games on the Series X, on the Series S, via Game Pass, on the console, or on the PC, or streaming mobile. And I know a lot of you are already gonna say, well, Phil said case-by-case basis. That leaves open the door for those games to come to PlayStation. Rand, think about Minecraft. Minecraft stayed on the PlayStation 4, and Minecraft Dungeon was released everywhere. Yes, that is true. Minecraft is looked at a platform in and of itself. It was already on pretty much everything when Microsoft purchased it. Everything Minecraft future-related games, whatnot, will always be on everything. That's not to be debated here. And I think a lot of people are getting hung up on that fact and trying to use it to justify why they think something like Elder Scrolls 6 or something like Starfield or Wolfenstein 3 will end up on PlayStation, because Microsoft can have their cake and eat it too. They can sell the game for $70 on PlayStation and sell subscriptions. But when you own the content, you don't have to sell it for $70 on PlayStation. Microsoft isn't really interested in selling content one time for $70. What they want to do is sell you on Game Pass so they can sell you that content for $10 to $15 a month forever. And having those games on PlayStation significantly reduces how many people join Xbox Game Pass. Now, what does case-by-case basis truly mean? It means stuff like Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo will be on the PlayStation 5. They're going to honor that contract. Elder Scrolls Online will continue to get updates and expansions. Doom Eternal will get the 2 expansions due out for it, no problem. After that, the games will be exclusive, and potentially the team behind Elder Scrolls Online, if they're making a brand new MMO, something like that, might be on PlayStation due to the need for a big install base. And the reason Phil is going to keep reiterating case-by-case basis is because they want it to be vague. The announcement that they had purchased Bethesda energized the Xbox community in a way I haven't seen in a long time. It really pushed people to pre-order the Series X and S, and they want to keep it vague because they want to drive speculation. We're talking about Xbox and whether the Bethesda games will go to PlayStation. That's what everybody's talking about, and what that does is it keeps Xbox in the news. It's great PR, and they use the case-by-case basis because they don't want to seem like quote-unquote the evil corporation that's going around sucking up all your favorite developers and making their games exclusive to Xbox. So it's PR along that line, and trust me, and they don't need to use the announcement of exclusivity for future Bethesda games yet. Everything's gonna sell out this holiday regarding hardware. Everybody is happy with the direction Xbox is moving. They can keep those announcements, like Starfield only being on Xbox until they need it sometime next year. And once that game is announced as exclusive, everybody will realize what is happening here. You know, you gotta ask yourself some questions. Would these journalists that are convinced Microsoft is going to put their games on PlayStation 5 be saying the same thing if the shoes were on the other foot? If Sony had bought Bethesda, everybody would accept the idea that those games would be kept exclusive to the PlayStation ecosystem. Nobody would be questioning it. There would be no opinion articles written on GameIndustry.biz and Game Informer and IGN trying to tell their readers, don't give up hope yet. Those games will still come to PlayStation 5. And then, of course, ask yourself this. If you really think Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5 or Wolfenstein 3 or whatever else is coming from Bethesda, if you really do think those games will come to PlayStation 5, well, do you also think Halo Infinite is too? What about Hellblade 2? The original Hellblade actually launched on PlayStation first. Why isn't that game going to PlayStation 5? What about Avowed? What about Fable? So why is a certain selection of games from Microsoft going to PlayStation 5, but not all of them? I thought they needed to make back their money on this acquisition. So why not do it with all their games? Why only do it with the Bethesda games? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Look guys, think about it like this. There is already precedent for Microsoft striking deals with publishers to get into Game Pass. They just announced EA Play is joining Game Pass for no additional cost. There is a scenario where Microsoft could have went to Bethesda and been like, hey, we want all of your games day one in the Game Pass. and it would have cost significantly less than $7 billion to do so, and that Bethesda still could have put those games on PlayStation 5. The reason you spend $7.5 billion is to own the content and put it where you want, to drive engagement in the things that matter to you. And what matters to Microsoft is Xbox Game Pass, xCloud, PC, and the Xbox consoles. That is where those games will be. Now, I went digging for a Phil Spencer quote from earlier in the year, because if you recall, there were rumors that Halo was going to make its way to Switch after Cuphead and Ori went to the Switch. And I think this quote from Phil Spencer is very timely right now. He says, "I think more and more about what does a full Xbox experience mean on different platforms. Right now, it seems like when any game comes out, there's that, is this one going here? Is this one going there? I'd rather be able to set more of an Xbox level expectation for our fans on where things are going to go. I thought we did that with our first party when we talked about games shipping on Xbox and PC, and I got some blowback from certain people and certain groups on that. But at least we set an expectation on that. I'd rather see us get to that point on the different pieces of hardware we're on, so I guess I'll kind of leave it there. I definitely have a ton of respect for the role that Nintendo plays, and I love having great games on their platform. I don't really love this idea that for every one of our games, there becomes this little rumor on it, is it going to end up on the Switch or not? I feel we should set a better expectations with our fans than that. You know, if you just take this article and don't even mention Nintendo, it pretty much applies today with the Bethesda games and the discourse surrounding will they or will they not. So just look at what Phil's talking about in this quote about having an Xbox level expectation for fans about where games are going to go. And Phil said it in plenty of interviews. Case-by-case basis, and I've already explained that, and the expectation is that these games will be on Xbox, on PC, streamable through xCloud, day one into Game Pass, because that is the most important thing to Microsoft. They don't care about the $70 they could get from PlayStation. They don't need the extra 70% they would get from Sony. They don't want to give Sony the extra 30%. What they want is to take all those users and basically force them into the Xbox ecosystem because of their love of these iconic IPs. So if you're a PlayStation gamer and you want to play the Bethesda games, you have a couple choices here. You can play it on your beastly gaming PC because all the PlayStation fans said, hey, you don't need a Series X because you can play everything on PC. So I'm going to assume you have a PC. You can play the games there. You can get an Xbox console, and wouldn't you know it, Microsoft created the perfect companion console for PlayStation gamers that are only going to play a few exclusives. It's called the Xbox Series S. It's really small and compact. It'll look really nice next to the PlayStation 5, and it's only $299. Or if you have a mobile device, if you're on Android, if you got some of those tablets, you can stream those games for the low price of $10 to $15. It's absolutely hilarious to me this week that we went from Xbox has no games to Xbox, please keep releasing your games on our platform. Anyways, guys, that is the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, share this video out on social media, and tell a friend about the channel. Hit that notification bell if you want to be notified immediately whenever I drop a video like this. If you want to support the channel even further, you can hit the join button where you get access to channel badges and emotes for the Xbox 2 podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. It truly means so much to me that you would take the time out of your day to do so, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.